Good evening, everyone. I'll call to order the Arvada City Council meeting for January 9th, 2023. Call upon Councilmember Bob Pfeiffer.
Thank you. Would you please join me in a moment of silent reflection? And now for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Kristen Rush, if you'll do the roll call.
Mayor Williams.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Jones.
Here.
Councilmember Pfeiffer.
Here.
Councilmember Marriott.
Here.
Councilmember Mormon.
Here.
Councilmember Simpson.
Here.
Councilmember Smith.
Here.
Next, we haven't met since December 19th, and that's the last minutes we have. Are there any changes or corrections to those minutes? Seeing none, they will stand approved as presented. Tonight, I would like to call to the podium Link Strate, former police chief of the city of Arvada, who is here in his Georgia attire for some reason.
That is correct.
We have a certificate of recognition signed by all of City Council that reads as follows. Whereas Chief Link Strate has committed his life to be a public servant in the form of an Arvada police officer for 35 years. And whereas Chief Strate joined the Arvada Police Department after receiving a bachelor's degree from Northern Arizona University in 1987, the same year he joined the police department. Chief Strate would later earn a master's degree in organizational leadership from Regis University, and whereas Chief Strate began his career in patrol and became a reliable officer, earning the respect of his community and peers alike. Chief Strate would continue his commitment to public safety as a police sergeant, working in several department areas. Chief Strate led the Criminal Investigations Bureau in a very difficult year where they investigated 6 homicides. Chief Strate was promoted to the rank of commander in 2008, where he recognized the importance of crime scene processing and advocated for participation at the Jefferson County Regional Crime Laboratory. He was also one of the regional commanders of the Jefferson County Critical Incident Response Team. As a commander, he was involved with more than a dozen investigations. These serious investigations impacted the lives of many and are a cornerstone for community trust. In 2016, Chief Strate was promoted to deputy chief. As a deputy chief, he worked on the building and transition to the Whisper Creek Community Station, Arvada's transition to the Jefferson County Regional Communications Center, and strategic planning for the police department and the city as a whole. And whereas in 2018, Link Strate was promoted to chief of police, where he would steward the Arvada Police Department through unprecedented times. Chief Strate stood fast to his belief in the department through a damaging national narrative against law enforcement, earning the admiration of officers and community members. He was a leader through a worldwide pandemic and was the foundation of strength through the murders of Officer Gordon Beasley and Officer Dylan Bakoff. Chief Strate was responsible for fostering a more robust bond through community policing and transparency. Chief Strate worked tirelessly to ensure that our officers are one of the most compensated in the state of Colorado for doing such incredible work each and every day. Chief Strate is more than just a great cop. He's a true leader, and we're forever in his debt. Now, therefore, the Arvada City Council, on behalf of the entire City of Arvada family, congratulates Link Strate on 35 years of dedicated and loyal service and wishes Link and his family only the very best in the future. Dated this 9th day of January 2023, signed by myself as mayor and all members of the City Council. Let me present this to you. I'm sure some council members will have some comments, and we'd certainly like to hear from you as well. Let me lead it off You know, we had I think, a very nice celebration and recognition of Chief Strate here a little bit ago. That was a special afternoon in which some of us were able to give our thoughts and comments. Link, you have just been such an asset to the city throughout your 35 years. I've had the opportunity today to record a video with you, and in preparation for that, I went back and looked at the video of you and I in your car, police car, doing a ride-along right after you had been appointed, and your sense of confidence and your self-assuredness and your professionalism was displayed in that video and served us so well during your entire time as an officer and certainly as your time as chief. You have been there for us during our most difficult times in the city of Arvada, losing 2 officers in unspeakable crimes that, frankly, we just hadn't experienced the loss of an officer since the 70s. And for you to have 2 of those happen during your watch has got to have been just the toughest of times. And the way you had to deal with the families of those officers, dealing with your officers, dealing with the entire city team, you did a stellar job, and we're going to be forever in your debt for that. And I think the fact that as you look at our community, when you go to National Night Out, when you see how citizens respond to our police department, your leadership and what carried on through the rank and file of your department shows that our community truly loves our police, and we thank you for that. So,
Thank you, Mayor.
Ms. Simpson.
Thank you. So call you Link now instead of Chief Strate. That's fun. I won't make it long because I understand there's a game on tonight. I may be in purple. But nonetheless, I just wanted to say how much we sincerely appreciated all of your leadership through these incredibly tumultuous 3 years, both nationally, locally, and to your own department. I don't think there would have been such steadiness in the city without the leadership and the steady hand. And I know everybody else wants to speak, so I won't take long, but I just wanted to say that though we have the utmost and fullest confidence in Chief Brady in succeeding you, we will miss you not only professionally, but also personally.
Thank you.
Mr. Fiver.
I'll just keep it simple. I mean, 35 years public service and protection of our community. I mean, that's just amazing. And, you know, our community owes you. I mean, you took care of us. It's our turn to take care of you. And, you know, you'll always have a place in our hearts here in council and our communities. You know, you'll be missed. I just want to reflect on one moment in time with him. Was when I was running for council. He witnessed me getting a ticket.
Well deserved, I'm sure.
No, animal management, barking dog, who is friends with my wife, that the officer gave us the ticket, said, "Where are you?" I said, "Well, I'm with Commander Strate at the time." "Okay, do not leave. I'll be right there." And I was here in the building, and she drove all the way from my house here, and then right in front of Commander Strate, gave me a ticket. But, you know, I always think about that night. We were just chatting about just things, and ever since then, I've always respected you. You created a foundation, a strength, our cop's cop that we always refer to, and you've carried our community's hearts on your back, you know, for all the issues we've dealt with, and we appreciate it. So I'm glad to see you relaxed and sleeping well, and I wish you the best.
Thank you.
Mr. Mormon.
Well, unlike a lot of my fellow council members up here, have not known you too long, but I will say that I certainly greatly appreciate the leadership that you have done for the past many years, and especially the past couple of years that I have had on council this last year in particular, and how hard that's been for all of us. And as Councilmember Pfeiffer said, you've carried a lot of weight for our community on your shoulders, and so I thank you for that. I thank you for your leadership, and I will share a story too, in that my first interaction with you was at our strategic retreat for council, and I was just so impressed at how your leadership skills came through because we had a lot of intense conversations and disagreements, and you were always right there, very even keel, saying, let's look at all the perspectives, let's make sure everyone is heard. And I just so appreciated that, and I know that not only you did that in that moment, but that's part of who you are and part of your leadership. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Mr. Jones?
I can make this really simple and easy. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's been so well said, and I couldn't add anything better than what's already been said, so thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Marriott?
Thank you. Same. Thank you very much. You have done such a stellar job in your whole career here in Arvada, and particularly your job as police chief. I think there was no better example of that than during the national narrative on policing in 2020. That was the bipolar opposite of what was happening here in Arvada, and that's a credit to you as a police chief, the police department as an organization, and the police chiefs who have come before you. And I think that's probably the best example of just the absolute stellar work that you've done on your time here, and really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ms. Smith?
I'm supposed to say something because everyone else said something. No. I really appreciate that I could always come to you and be honest and have some banter and really feel authentic and genuine in our conversations while also turning on professionalism when we can. But I also just wanted to note that it's not just you that sacrifice, it's also your families, it's your kids, it's your wife, and I just wanted to acknowledge that not only are you doing such great work for the public and for our community, but in turn, your family also did sacrifice so much, and I wanted to acknowledge that and really thank them as well for their service and sacrifice in a lot of those times away with you.
Thank you. Thank you. And to say a couple of things to what has been said here tonight, I want to first say that I got the best end of the deal. Felt incredibly fortunate to get to start my career here, and Arvada took incredible care of me and my family. And that sense of confidence, which my wife may have described as cockiness a few times in our marriage, was really born from the fact that we had great leadership here when I started as a police officer, and the department that was handed to me was an exceptionally well-functioning police department. And the men and women that work here, I knew the quality of them, so I did have that confidence, coupled with a true belief in what it is that we do in police work. The other piece of that was knowing historically the support that this city, as an organization, the police department, received from those that have sat in the chairs that you're sitting in, and you, Mayor, have sat in that chair for quite a few of those years, and to know that you supported and believed in the mission of this police department in this city. So that confidence was born from all of that. So truly thank you for the opportunity to be a police officer here. It certainly is my greatest professional accomplishment, and I have enjoyed almost every minute of that. So thank you.
And yes, Link, you have permission to leave, so. Okay, we have no presentations tonight. We do have a couple people signed up for public comment. Sterling Boom.
All right. Good evening, City Council members. As a citizen of Arvada, I am here today to voice my concern regarding the topic of the evening and what is, in my opinion, the greatest issue facing Arvada today, our ever-growing homeless problem and the city's failed plan to address it. Nationally, about 0.2% of our population is homeless. The number of homeless people on the streets of Arvada far exceeds the amount of homeless we should have when compared to our population. Why is that? Is it because we have a lack of affordable housing? If affordable housing is the answer, why are homeless people coming to Arvada from other cities and states where housing is more affordable? Is it a lack of services? Why is it that the vast majority of the homeless people on our streets have zero ties to the city of Arvada before coming here and accessing the services that are available to them? Venezuelan migrants are being referred to Denver from the U.S. southern border because Denver has resources for them. Denver recently said they were facing a crisis due to the large number of migrants coming to their city for these resources. Their initial solution was to offer more resources. What Denver at the time seemingly failed to realize is that no matter how many services or how much money they throw at the problem, Denver is incapable of solving a socioeconomic crisis in South America. Just as Denver is incapable of solving a migrant crisis spanning continents, Arvada is incapable of solving a homeless issue across the nation. We can, however, address the problem within our own city. If we have too many homeless people coming to our city for services, which we do, the solution is to stop offering services. What we don't do is spend millions of dollars building housing for the transients, call it a navigation center, and believe that giving free housing to unwanted people coming to our city will somehow solve the problem of unwanted people coming to our city. Just as South American migrants are being referred to cities with resources for them, homeless people will be referred to Arvada if we build a navigation center and continue offering resources for them. How does this help Arvada combat our homeless problem? As City Council members, please listen to what citizens of Arvada are asking of you. They are not asking you to build a navigation center to serve the homeless from other cities around the metro area. They are not asking you to subsidize the rent of every homeless person that moves here from another state. They are not asking you to virtue signal to them by spending millions of dollars on non-Arvadans. They are not asking you to solve homelessness. They are asking you to do something about the people who are victimizing our citizens and destroying our community. What we need to do is offer fewer incentives for homeless people to come to Arvada, not more. If you think offering more services is the answer, consider how well that's worked for cities like Denver, Seattle, Portland, and San Francisco. If it's true that the city of Arvada dreams big and delivers, then the city's current plan to address our homeless problem was conceived of in a nightmare. You have the power to change that.
Okay. Thank you. Steve Howard.
My name is Steve Howards. As some of you know, I own a lot of commercial property in Old Town Arvada, and I'm really here on behalf of my tenants. Mangione's, by the way, is opening on Friday. Put in a plug for them. But I own the Davis Block, and I own Penzi's is my tenant, and Bowfires, and anyway, 10 therapists, 2 lofts. And we're really concerned. I mean, I happen to support the Navigation Center. I happen to have great compassion for people who are homeless. I listened to the Zoom session from 4 o'clock on. I applaud the city of Arvada for the efforts it's making to take care of people that are genuinely homeless. I've met with those people. I've seen those people. My heart goes out to them. But a very small subset of that group are people that are creating the crimes. These are people, being a schizophrenic isn't a crime, being an alcoholic isn't a crime, being a drug user, well, maybe that's a crime. But, I mean, there's a very small subset of the homeless, and I think it really does injustice to the homeless to refer to them as homeless. These are more criminals that are creating real havoc in Old Town. I mean, I have gotten into physical altercations with people, which I did not initiate, because I saw people that looked dangerous entering women-owned businesses, and I asked them what they were doing, and that resulted in an altercation. The stop and go, as you're aware, the Gold Line stop and go has closed. 3 times now, people have thrown bricks through the front windows, stealing lottery tickets and cigarettes, and the tenants feel as though basically there's no consequence, and they're just absolutely frustrated and desperate. So one of the things I wish I could have asked during the workshop is I wish the city would keep statistics, not on just the homeless issue, but the subset of the homeless who create the crimes, and refer to them as different. There are the criminals and there are the homeless. when I heard the statistic that I think 71% of the cases prosecuted by the city were OSS, I'm curious to know what percentage of that are these reoccurring criminals, and what can be done to better collect data on these people and prosecute these people to the extent we can. Prosecution may not be the solution, but there's a public safety issue here. And I'm raising this issue before someone gets seriously hurt. I mean, it's really scary. Behind the Davis building, oftentimes they corral the dumpsters, okay? Maybe that's a homeless issue, but we find human excrement and hypodermic needles, which is what they leave behind. So all I'm just asking you is to please, these are two separate groups, and the people that are creating the crimes are really creating a desperate situation for the businesses.
Thank you, Mr. Howard.
Thank you very much.
Is there anybody else that wishes to address City Council at this time? Do we have anybody on? Okay, I'll close the public comment portion. Tonight, we have a number of items on the consent agenda. The first is a resolution designating a public place for the posting of notice of meetings for all boards, commissions, and committees of the City Council of the City of Arvada for the year 2023. Second is a resolution authorizing the issuance of a blanket purchase order in the amount of $950,000 to Synergy Petroleum LLC for the purchase of fuel used in city vehicles and equipment. Third is a resolution authorizing an employment agreement between the City of Arvada and Christopher K. Daly as a municipal court relief judge. Next is a resolution authorizing an employment agreement between the City of Arvada and Charles W. Tingle as a municipal court relief judge. Next is a resolution authorizing an employment agreement between the City of Arvada and Michael S. Matassa as a municipal court relief judge. Next is a resolution authorizing an employment agreement between the City of Arvada and Ralph C. Toronto as a municipal court relief judge. Next is a resolution authorizing a construction contract agreement by and between the City of Arvada and Vortex Services LLC for the 81st and Kipling Sanitary Sewer Improvement Project in an amount not to exceed $1,619,000. And the final resolution is a resolution authorizing a consulting contract agreement by and between the City of Arvada and CDM Smith, Inc. for the preliminary design of the North Trunk Line Interceptor in an amount not to exceed approximately $942,000. Do I have a motion, Mr. Marriott?
Thank you, Your Honor. I move that consent agenda items R23-001 through R23-008 all be approved.
Motions for approval of the consent agenda. That passes 7-0. Thank you. Next, we have a resolution authorizing the city to join an intergovernmental agreement among these Colorado cities of Aurora, Inglewood, Lakewood, and Wheat Ridge, the city and county of Denver, the offices of the district attorneys for the 1st and 2nd judicial districts of Colorado, the Colorado counties of Adams, Arapahoe, and Jefferson, and the state of Colorado to establish a Colorado Auto Theft Prevention Authority Metropolitan Auto Theft Task Force. Ms. Gillis?
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. In 2016, a number of agencies in the metro area entered into an intergovernmental agreement to form the Colorado Auto Theft Prevention Authority Metropolitan Auto Theft Task Force, or CMAT. CMAT's goal is to enable participating agencies to more effectively investigate, apprehend, and prosecute criminals involved in auto theft and auto theft-related crimes. This resolution will permit the Arvada Police Department to join CMAT. The city team recommends approval.
Mr. Mormon, you're first.
I would like to reserve the motion.
Mr. Marriott, do you have any questions? No. Go ahead, Mr. Mormon.
Thank you. I move that R 23-009, a resolution authorizing the city to join an intergovernmental agreement among the Colorado cities of Aurora, Inglewood, Lakewood, and Wheat Ridge, the city and county of Denver, the offices of the district attorneys for the 1st and 2nd judicial districts of Colorado, the Colorado counties of Adams, Arapahoe, and Jefferson, and the state of Colorado to establish a Colorado Auto Theft Prevention Authority and Metropolitan Auto Theft Task Force be approved. And I will just add that I think this is a huge step forward for us, and looking forward to that collaborative effort, as we all know that car theft is a growing and increasing problem in our metropolitan area, and including here in our city. So thank you for the work on this.
All votes are cast. That passes 7-0. Thank you. Next, first reading, even though it says none, there is one. Or Mr. Mayor Pro Tem was going to be very disappointed. Mr.
No,
Jones.
I saw none and thought, well, there's at least one. So I move that Council Bill 23-001, an ordinance amending Section 30-4 of the Arvada City Code pertaining to council districts, be approved on first reading, ordered, published in full, and a public hearing date set for January 23rd, 2023 at 6:15 p.m.
The first reading is approved, 7-0. Thank you. Next, we have the appointment to the Rocky Flat Stewardship Council. Ms. Gillis?
This agenda item is an annual item, and it is to appoint Councilmember Mormon to the Rocky Flat Stewardship Council with Jacob Moyer from the city team serving as the alternate.
Very good. Ms. Simpson?
I'll reserve the motion.
You may proceed.
I move to reappoint Councilmember Randy Mormon as director and Jacob Moyer as alternate.
All votes are cast. That passes 7-0. Thank you, Mr. Mormon, for agreeing to serve on this. We have no public hearings tonight. Is there anybody else that would like to address City Council during public comment? Your Honor, do you want to rattle on to us for a while? No, you sure? Any council reports? Seeing none, we'll move on to city manager reports.
Just welcome back to 2023, and thank you for your conversation this evening. That is very helpful for the city team.
Good. And then reports from the city attorney. Do you want to lead us into our motions for executive session?
I can do that, Your Honor. Tonight, we have 2 executive sessions that it's my understanding that council would like to engage in while we have our meeting tonight, or before the end of our meeting tonight. The first one is on our agenda, and it is a executive session for the purpose of us receiving instructions to negotiators related to Broomfield's withdrawal from the Jefferson Parkway Public Highway Authority, and that would be to review with council the current proposed terms of a potential resolution between the member entities. The second arose as a result of our conversations earlier today during the study session. Council has requested an executive session for the purpose of receiving legal advice related to questions that council has arising out of the study session on homelessness. The study session on instructions to on legal advice will be pursuant to CRS 246402-4B, and the executive session related to the Parkway Authority on instructions to negotiators is pursuant to CRS 246402-4E.
Mr. Marriott.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll move that we go into 2 executive sessions for the reasons stated by the city attorney.
All votes are cast. That passes unanimously. We will retire to our council workshop area upstairs to go into executive session for the 2 reasons stated. No further action will be taken other than that's what permitted pursuant to executive session rules. Thank you.